This is BleedTV, the only podcast of today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
And I'm Cash.
And tonight we've got the Into the Badlands. This is Season 3, Episode 4. The Blind Cannibal Assassins. I almost call them Campbell's Assassins, and you know, like SpaghettiOs or whatever.
Campbell's?
That'd have been terrible.
That's the soup.
Yeah, I know. That'd been
Chicken
terrible. All right, Cash, you know, before the pod, you kind of disturbed me a little bit and said you struggled with some parts of this episode.
Well, hold on. Like, we got to talk about the title a little bit more.
I know that,
we
but
have these
still,
whole things.
I'm still blinded that you struggled with a few parts.
Well
but,
done.
That the episode overall, to me, was a top 3.
You called it a top 3, and I finished watching it, and I texted you. I was like, This was a bad episode.
Not on the same page with me this episode, huh?
And then you texted me back that top 3, and I had that little awkward gif, like, ooh.
So we've had a little debate before. I'm honing Cash in. I'm reeling him in.
I was excited. I was ready. I was like,
it's like a swordfish. You've been working with that for 6 hours, and he's finally got tired, and I'm reeling him in. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Cash is coming around. Okay.
Okay.
But all right, back to the title. Blind Cannibal Assassins. This is one of the first titles that's actually on point.
Yeah, made perfect sense.
This is pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't have any references of a leopard or raven or anything. You know, it could have been something that was naturally blind. You know, I can't think of an animal off the top of my head that's naturally blind.
Or bats naturally blind, or close.
I guess, you know.
Well, for the purpose of this segment, we will call bats naturally blind. Please do not attack us if they are not.
Yeah, really. If you do want to, remember, we are on Twitter and Facebook, and to point all your negative comments towards Cash.
Or at BleedTV Podcast. You know, let all of us feel the love. Make sure we all get it nice and loud.
Absolutely.
And hashtag it with Where's Waldo, if you would.
Yes, that is going to be our new hashtag from now on, because we're tired of not seeing Stephen Lang on television. I will not accept his younger version only.
No.
I need to see
Although
the real
he does look like
deal.
a splitting image of him.
Yes, there is no doubt. And because Stephen Lang is amazing, and you know, Where's Waldo is our hope and prayer that we get to see him again soon.
So please, everyone, join us in Where's Waldo.
Yeah, that is the new hashtag. So,
but yeah, not really the coolest title name we've ever had and stuff. Kind of a letdown. I like the mystery. I like rating them.
Yeah, I mean, because this is one show where like the titles of the episodes are always either intriguing, questionable, or blunt.
Yeah,
or
it's up there with Game of Thrones. Like, it kind of paints the title for the episode and everything. It's ambiguous because it could be 2 or 3 different people, and you're just letting it go. You're excited to see where it's going to take you.
You really just don't put these 3 words together typically.
Yes.
Blind, cannibal, and assassins. So,
and I didn't see them being assassins by the end of this episode.
I didn't see that either. To me, it's hunting and gathering in
yes.
their own unique way. But it is what it is. You know, not going to beat it to death.
And then,
because I absolutely loved the episode. Mainly, and the reason I loved it, because I'll put it out there. My post was, who needs dialogue when you have 40 minutes of nonstop action? And the reality of it is that I don't remember a whole lot of things being said other than a few things of what Sonny said to, you know,
Bajie.
the blinds and the blind folks and Bajies like that. Other than that, all I focused on is one awesome fight scene after another, after another, after another, after another. And some of the longest lasting fight scenes in the entire episode or series felt like we're in this episode, you know, in this this episode overall. And so I really just, you know, sometimes you just need a great kick-ass episode, and this was it.
I mean, it was literally that. It was a kick-ass episode in the terms of fighting.
Right, and the only downside to this episode of Kick-Ass is that I really wanted to see a couple characters that I love be a part of the Kick-Ass.
I was really missing a Tilda fight scene.
I was missing Tilda. And we had Moon in this character, and we didn't get to see him in any action.
No, and we had the perfect setup.
Action,
yeah, it did.
But not him. And so, don't get me wrong, we've been heavy Moon, and so that's pretty awesome. So I'm sure he'll make up for it shortly. I have no doubt.
Especially since
will deliver.
Especially since he's got a sword back.
Yeah.
He's going to be making up for it pretty quickly.
He's got a hand and a sword. It's all.
Again, shout out to Giovanni Lipari, the costume designer. Dude's crushing it. I don't know how he comes up with some of these, but these blind cannibals look phenomenal.
They do, man. The set piece for everything that's on this place. I mean, let's just go ahead and dive right into this. Okay, Sonny and Bajie show up, and we meet.
Well, I mean, it starts off. Do we want to start where the episode starts off and kind of get that out of the way, or save that for?
Nah, let's just talk about the blind folks. So we went right into those blind guys. You know, they show up at this situation. They're having conversation with this guy who's blind, and I'm like, okay, this is the first interpretation of the blind. You know, just a guy with his eyes are blued out. He's kind of a charismatic character. I struggle with the idea of, hey, just sit down, need company, here's some food. To me, if you're out here in the wastelands of Badlands and this, that, or so on, and there's somebody sitting there blind who is evidently, well, I would imagine alone, has his own little tent, willing to share food. This is set up, written all over it.
I'm definitely going to be smelling my food or something before I just blindly eat it.
Where did he get his food from?
Because
what was the source in his food? Do you trust this blind fellow is cooking this food? There's so many variables here.
Oh, no.
Considering the location you're in.
Wait, do you think they ate human? Because now that I'm thinking about it, they said that honey is scarce and everything.
That we're talking not clam chowder, human chowder. You know, thigh chowder. Whatever you want to call it. Okay.
Oh, man. So
just to me.
Now, and what kind of knockout agent? Because it's this massive bottle that he's trying to like hide and conceal. He's a glurp, 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 glurp. That should be enough for Bajie.
Okay, yeah, that's a struggle. Here's another struggle I have. Okay, and I want to get my little pit, nitpicks out of the situation now. They drug him and only take the child.
Yes, and they leave Sonny and Bajie
them. They don't tie him up, like that.
They don't even kidnap
Moon
him.
Shows up later, and then he's shackled and brought in.
Which also, how do you shackle a one-handed man?
It's a great question, especially when you've taken his hand off.
Yes. So I've got nothing.
I'm struggling here. So little things there kind of didn't match. So I was kind of like,
okay. And were we supposed to believe they have the gift? Because all of their eyes were pitch black.
No, that's how their effects person made it look like their eyes had been gouged out with a sword or knife.
I don't know how your eyes, but I'm pretty sure if you get stabbed through the eye hole with a knife, you don't still have perfect circles with black eyes.
I'm with you. To me, I struggle with this, but here's the other thing: is that they show you have a hot poker.
Yes. To
remove your eyes. Now, I could see if somebody stuck a hot poker, you would have that burned circular shape into your eye. But they also show a Sonny talking about the flashback that he was the person who helped taking their eyes, and it showed him taking it by a dagger in the eye. Now, if you got stabbed in the eye, that doesn't affect your eyelids.
No.
Don't get me wrong. Now, if you're closing your eyes before you get stabbed, yes, you'll have a scar,
but that skin, I would think, would just You
would just look like your eyes are closed.
Yeah.
Or if you did open your eyes, it would just be, hollow, or your eye would be scarred, or whatever. So I don't know. To me, the way their makeup or their special effects made it look like they all had the hot poker to their eyes, but that's not what they showed that happened to the people.
Yeah.
So there was inconsistency with that.
But then it's also, why are you continuously taking out everybody's eyes?
Why punish other folks for what happened to you?
And why do you still have so much light coming through this underground cave? I mean, that was the stuff that made the episode bad to me, was I just couldn't fully immerse myself.
Lighting didn't bother me because the set pieces were so cool. You had to have something for them to be able to see and show. And I think that's what, it goes back to your, your costume director, but also your set master and all the other people like that. And so I thought that was epic. But the eye thing, it looked like that was the effect of a hot poker hitting your eyes.
Yes, it did.
Not somebody being stabbed in the eye.
With
that was inconsistent.
Bowie knife going through.
So yes, that was inconsistent. But I was able to overlook it because, again, every 5 seconds we were into a really cool fight scene. Again, when we get down there. Now, one other thing. Did you notice that they were suddenly surrounded once they figured out where they were and who they are?
We need to go. Everything. And within,
they were literally surrounded by 9 people with swords at them in every direction.
Yeah, at their throat, all over the body.
I struggled with the idea that they were able to be completely surrounded like that. cool scene
Yes.
with all the swords going in every direction. I struggle with that. Again, rule of cool with this episode, with the episode and the series brings that into par.
You see, I didn't struggle with it at the beginning because we had the black eyes and everything, so I was thinking they had the gift. And then, they only took Henry, so I was like, boom, we're after the gift. But then as soon as we got the flashback, I was like, whoa, I've got a huge problem with this.
Right. So a lot of details come into this situation. Yes. We find a maternity ward. We find out Bajie's scared of the dark.
Have you ever seen like a baby fetus in a jar?
Not personally, no.
Okay, so at my college, we actually had baby fetuses in a jar. Someone actually stole one of them. They're actually very expensive, believe it or not.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it was like 10 grand, but that's besides the point. Actually got to arrest the guy too. Cool story. But super freaky.
Yeah.
To just like, because we had them at different like 3 months, 6 months, 9, like they went all out for it for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you. These were very realistic. Now I'm sure they actually had dolls and everything instead of the real thing, but I'm not saying they could have been the real thing because they looked legit. So from everything that I've seen.
For making it look like the real deal.
Yes. Well done.
All right, I'll give you that. We learn all that, and then we also see the scene where Sonny, like I said, he pulls away, and you see the armadillo, and he realizes that he's at fault. We have this awesome scene of Where's Waldo?
Yes.
As a younger man.
Looks exactly how I would imagine a young Stephen Lang looking like.
Dude, it was awesome. Now, to me, it looked like I was hearing Stephen Lang's voice being audio dubbed over this actor when he was talking.
And if this is truly this actor's voice, just find every role that Stephen Lang did and apply for that same role.
Yeah, the guy it just looked the part.
Yes.
Very impressive.
And phenomenal, well done acting and everything. I
really
love this serious tone that he was carrying.
It really,
was just
really
like,
was.
If you don't do this, I'm doing it to you. And Sonny was like, sorry, people, it's your eyes or mine. And really. I value sight.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
the brutality, man.
Your loyalty to your bearers should have been blind. So now you will be. I was like, well done, wordplay.
Yes.
Well done. Bravo.
Yeah. Before you think it's all good news, yes.
The writer's room had a lot of fun with this one.
Yes, they did. They did. And see, these are the moments of the episode that I was just like salivating of how well things were done, how well written it was, how the actors were on point, the voiceovers, the special effects of being stabbed in the eye. All that stuff was just money in the bank.
Yes.
Absolute money in the bank. So again, they're captured. Moon shows up. It gets captured way too easy. Don't care for it.
And so the problem of, do you think there was a reason that they captured Moon but not Sonny and Bajie? Because that's just weird.
Maybe because he said, I'm looking for two guys, and a kid or something. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the inconsistent part that I struggled with. When they get in there, they're given an offer. You have a day to decide, join us, or, but by joining us, you have to give up your sight or die and become a meal because there's hanging thighs that have been smoking everywhere.
Yum.
Yeah, oh, man.
Yum. Can't wait to jump into that jambalaya right there.
Out here, food is poisoned and ruined, but one man's flesh can feed us for a month. And I was like, oh,
maybe
yummy.
Bajie, but I'm not seeing Sonny over here.
Bajie is at least a 3-month meal. Nothing against Nick Frost. He's just a healthy guy.
Yeah. Sonny, maybe a week and a half. Tops.
Easy. A lot of muscle. Come on, give Daniel Will some credit.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, of course, they're like, by joining you, I'm basically saying screw you to my son. That's not an option, and everything else. And they devise the plan of using the Moon's hand, which has darts and sword and all this other stuff.
And here's where I have a little bit of a problem.
All right. Dazzle me with your problems.
These blind, they're blind, right? What happens when you lose one sense? Your other senses
amplify the others.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything drastic, but you're definitely going to have better hearing. You tell me you don't hear this metal table smashing into the ground with this metal hand clinking all over, and you don't come running in.
They could have been on the other side of this mental ward.
Oh yeah, with echoes everywhere, huh?
You never know.
Okay.
You never know. I didn't have a huge problem. I know where you're going with that. Yes, I get it. Again, this is where I prefer Moon not to have been captured. I would have loved the Moon to come in there and cleaned up to get to him.
Yeah. And
then released him so he could have his fight of honor, and then find a way for them to have saved him or earned a way to go outside where they got the scene we got.
And I think that was my problem. They just didn't utilize Moon correctly in this episode.
Yeah, to me, like, it would have been really cool if he was in the mix of the fight. But I understand why they didn't. I guess it was just me being a fan of Sherman Augustus and Moon's character that you wanted him
exactly, and I think
to
that's
be
probably,
in the fight. You know, because to me, think about every fight that he's been in. He borderline dominates it, minus the Widow.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, and every one of his fights has been at least a top 10, if not a top 5 fight of the series.
Right, and then just using that mitt of his for everything. You know.
Oh man, he's gotten so creative with it perfectly.
Right, so that is where I guess I'm just more like I wanted him in it.
Yeah.
You know? Again, it's a really cool fight scene. I loved how they did do some stealth stuff.
Well, and like before, like. I'm the reason you're here. I'm the little kid that was there and stabbed your eyes. Bajie's, dude,
why are you gonna tell the truth, man?
Like, you think this was the time to tell him that?
Yes.
Like, while we're chained,
idiot. The reason you're blind is me.
Yeah.
While we're shackled and they're considering killing us.
Well, I get so dinner's at 5.
Yeah, really.
I'll join now. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I really feel like that was for humor.
Oh, it was definitely
don't get me wrong,
because
you're supposed to be sentimental, and yes, it's my fault you're blind, and hindsight, 2020, and all that kind of stuff like that. But I think that the whole line was truly to get Nick Frost, Bajie looked like, dude, you're an idiot.
How dumb can you be?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect for that. Like, I absolutely loved that. Like, the comedy in this episode, top notch.
It was on point. So I'll give him that.
But yeah, like you said, and we have a lot of cool stealth stuff.
Yeah, like I love that the show made the point of showing them drag the swords across the walls
for echo amplification and everything.
All that stuff. I thought that was cool. You notice their outfits; they were all white and had kind of furry gray, but still looked disheveled like they were homemade. And I loved that the set pieces were really cool. It looked like an old hospital that had been ran down and fall apart. But like I said, they're killing them slowly, and they're realizing the sounds aren't matching, and they turn around to fight. The fight scenes are good. I love that they actually get some licks in. Bajie takes a good heat, and so does Sonny. And
Bajie's finishing move was like a Mortal Kombat finisher I had been waiting on that I didn't even know I needed in my life.
It was like truffle shuffle slam. I mean, the only thing missing was him
if he would have done like a little jiggle beforehand.
If he had lifted his shirt up before he landed or something.
Pointed at the camera for the people's elbow or something.
Yes.
Oh, my
smell
God.
what the rock's cooking.
It's you.
Yeah. I was laughing my ass off.
Yes, and then it wasn't even the full belly flop. No, he gave him the disrespect of the booty flop. Like the back, everything.
To me, some people could look at this as an insult to Nick Frost, is that, are you saying that he's heavy enough by making this move that it crushes people enough to spit up blood?
No, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big guy, you're a big guy, and if you jumped on me with something in between us that was hard, I don't think your body weight or even momentum from a 3-foot jump would cause my ribs to crush or penetrate my lungs and aspirate blood.
Put some respect on Nick Frost. That was at least 3'3". All right, we were getting a piece of paper underneath that.
To me, I'm a realist and detailer. Rule of cool is great and everything. Them spitting up blood like they were killed or crushed, maybe a hair too far. Now, if that bed frame or whatever that was
had some spikes or something,
it had some sharp ends where they got they were perforated, or something. Okay, now we're talking. But just
that body weight crushing you and everything.
That body weight crush, especially when there's 2 people to absorb it.
Yeah, and spread out and everything.
I just laughed more. I guess that's why I overlooked that. Really wasn't crushing enough to be spitting up blood.
Probably not, but the creativity behind it and everything, like you said, the rule of cool overrode it in the moment, and that's what's important.
Absolutely. And that's why I said I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, but yeah, it was still enjoyable. Cool fight scenes, the whole 9 yards, and they end up saving Moon.
Yeah, I love like when they're getting ready. It's like, so when I unchain you, what's gonna happen? We're gonna fight till one of us dies. I'm gonna come back for you.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, we go unchain them and everything, and they get outside, and Moon's ready.
He's ready. I gave you my answer, and has a sword and he chunks it, and Moon lifts the sword up like and stops, and your honor, but I won't deprive your child of a father as of mine has been depriving, and I was all right with that.
I was okay with it. I was a little sad that Moon kept the sword.
He's been rocking it.
I'm excited to see what he does with it again, obviously, but I was like, man, I know Sonny could probably use a weapon right about now, and he's done work with the sword.
Well, my question now is what's Moon's motivation going to be? He's on the other side of the war.
Yeah.
Because he's drove his Oldsmobile all the way over there. And, I mean...
Maybe he just goes right back into being a Clipper. Maybe he didn't think he wanted to be it anymore, but now that...
I mean, to me, his mission accomplished. Yeah. I got to the guy. I'm not doing my thing. Okay, now what?
Because, I mean, he told Widow, as soon as I get Sonny, then I'm done. And she's like, that's fine by me, so...
Yeah, so, I mean...
Technically, he can walk away.
Technically.
But he didn't make it seem like he made it seem like he's still wanting to be this Clipper. Like he wants to go back at it.
True. Now, in the very beginning of the episode, we get to meet a new character. And this is this Lewis Tan? That's his name?
I believe so.
Right.
Lewis Tan.
Lewis Tan. I want to make sure I had that right. And this is Chow, the brother. And they divulge that this is a brother-sister and the mother who is in ill shape.
Mm-hmm.
And this is at White Bone Manor, or
I believe so,
something of that nature. And they've got him in prison because evidently he's anti-Chow, anti-war, He's basically turned into he's the Lydia of the widow camp. Of I take refugees, I'm trying to go freedom, we're not into war.
He just happens to also be the Sonny of the camp. Yeah, as well.
Yeah. He's Sonny and Lydia combined. In some unique way.
So he's new Sonny.
Yeah, new Sonny.
Phenomenal. This entrance and everything, him just slow practicing some form of martial arts.
And they kind of explained that he's been in there a long time.
Yes. Absolutely shredded.
Yes, the guy's got some skills, got the look. So they want him to become an assassin to kill
Pilgrim. Yes.
And to convince him, they take him outside, and they've got 9 cogs, and they ice one. I mean, not easy or pretty either. I'm talking arrow through the face, you're toast kind of situation. And
she's like, do I need to take another one out?
Right. And basically is like, you and your men, I need you to assassinate the Pilgrim. That's the scenario there. We get a little tidbit that the mother is evidently very ill on her deathbed. And so him and his crew send out. Now, they all look like a really badass little group of ninjas. Black suits, the whole 9 yards. MK is walking through the woods. Sees him going by.
Well,
he's scared to death.
Well, MK and Tilda, they have their little tidbit or whatever. Yeah. And Odessa's like, this is the only person that cares about you.
Yes, I remember that.
Maybe you should listen to her. And
Odessa, that's another. Somebody else put a picture up there. You know how people say, if you die, we riot?
Yeah.
And they put a picture of her up and they said, you die, we celebrate. It's like, damn, man.
That was love for her, but I mean, I might pop a firework or two. It's for the joy.
Cheers. And but
yeah,
like you said, she's
I'm kind of lost at the Tilda thing.
Well, I'm not a fan of the MK thing right now.
Yeah.
To me, he just got his power back, and all of a sudden he's Billy Badass, but he can't turn his power on by getting cut. We're not consistently knowing how he turns it on, and he's scared to death by this tree. After telling him, tried to tell him no, but he's still going to go anyway. That he's got a severe wound he needs to heal. No. Yeah. But he's sitting on this tree, and he's looking at his wound. It's still open, bleeding badly, and he's scared of these people, but if he's got his powers, he shouldn't be really scared of anybody. So there was a little inconsistency there.
I just don't want him to go in after Sonny. I don't see the point of
that,
it. Like,
do we really going to see where that goes? I mean, I mean, come on.
I don't have any belief that he's going to kill Sonny.
And I don't have any belief he'll kill MK.
Yeah.
So
I just don't see the point.
It's a futile storyline.
Yeah.
It's very futile. Again, the Widow and Lydia decide to go meet Pilgrim because there's a bunch of flyers everywhere.
Well, I mean, we get another. I love every time we get a shot of this poppy field because it just looks like these flowers. They just look phenomenal. Like they're so bright red and everything. We always get like a sea of it. Looks great.
The landscapes. I mean, even when they're going to meet the blind people, they have these mountainous areas and so on.
I mean, like this is a show that truly makes, like you said.
If I was a camera guy or somebody who was working on set, this is a show I'd like to be at, just to be able to see all these on location places.
Oh my god,
it'd be epic.
I believe they're in Belfast or something. Or Dublin, maybe. I'm pretty sure they're in Ireland.
They trained in Ireland, different things of that nature. So
but yeah,
I think it's pretty cool.
So I mean, we have Pilgrims apparently. Do you think he has people on the outside carrying these flyers and stuff, or? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but they've got a map leading us to Azra.
Correct.
Or what is
their perceived future Azra?
Yes.
So Widow and Lydia show up. There's a 5-person security detail, that brings them over on the boat. They go inside, and of course they show, Louis Tan and his little crew follow behind,
popping up out of the water. And I initially thought that they were Widow's people, and she was just kind of like setting a trap and everything. But very soon after, I was like, oh no, that's obviously.
No, it was pretty smart. They come out, arrow these jokers to death. Pretty cool effect too, for them all to come out the water like they did. And just smoke them one by one.
Yeah, with like little blow darts, I guess.
No, it was like crossbows.
Okay.
It was crossbows. So when they go inside, Widow gets to meet Pilgrim. Lydia gets to meet, their high priestess. Mm-hmm. And this is...
Which one?
This is one of the two dark eyes. And this
Castor and Nyx.
Castor, Nyx.
Castor's the guy, Nyx is the girl.
Nyx is left because she leaves the same time Widow comes up, and she's got that like the Ghostbusters box, that can find dark ones. And Widow sees it and knows what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a cool little scene there. So when he comes in, of course, they're having conversations and making small talk. And Chow and his crew are coming in and cleaning up folks one by one. And they set up top. Now, the only thing I had is that why was there not water dripping everywhere? Because they literally just got out of the lake.
Yeah.
But, okay, I digress.
Well, yeah, I'll get past that.
Yeah, I'll get past it. So they all line up, and so they fire a single arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Why a single?
I don't know.
To me,
especially since you take the time to line up like that.
One lets loose.
You all let
I would think they would all start firing. Cool shot of Widow pulling a knife out and able to deflect it away
perfectly.
I thought that was pretty sweet. As soon as I said, "Oh, that's awesome," but wait a minute, why did Pilgrim not sense this? Where was his spidey senses here? Or that something was off, or so on, or But I got over it quickly because the next ensuing battle, was awesome.
And then we immediately get everyone firing.
Everybody's firing. Pilgrim pops up and grabs a 2x4, stops an arrow before it hits high priestess.
And see, that's what I had a problem with because that looked very.
It was slow play.
Yeah,
it was slow play,
and I was just like man,
to me, do a scene where he kicks the board up, grabs it, and is able to get it there just in time. Instead of him actually leaning over, picking it up without proper form, he did not use his knees.
Nothing.
It was all back. This is like your Lowe's and Home Depot instructional video of what not to do when picking up lumber.
For the love of God, people, bend down, use your knees, everything.
Proper knees and technique. This is where you use your quads, not your back.
Maybe not your quads. Kind of injured mine today, so leave that.
I can't help it if you're a wuss. Yeah. But anyway, only player I know who gets hurt playing frisbee golf. But anyway.
Whoa, ultimate frisbee. Put some respect on it. That's running. It's like soccer.
Okay, I'm not gonna downplay.
Yeah, I can't put respect on something called ultimate frisbee.
Yes, okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, yes, I did think the little picking up the board was slow play, but the fight scenes that followed after
it pretty much clears it up. But it was
they
just
were choreographed. They were pretty good. I think they were a little heavy on the dual contact. There were several times when they would do a move and hit two people at the same time.
Yeah.
And they did that kind of repetitively. You know what I mean?
That
Don't get
is
me wrong.
true.
The worst thing I can see in a movie, an action scene, is where one guy's fighting one guy and the other guy's sitting there waiting.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
You know what I mean? At least everybody was actually attacking.
This was like a Jackie Chan fight.
Yes.
Where, like you said, like he's just throwing out both fists and hitting two people.
Constantly reacting.
Yes.
Constantly reacting, which is good because people, if you've ever watched Braveheart, there's a couple scenes where you see people fighting in the background during a major battle. But, of course, Mel Gibson's close to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look in the background, you see people playing patty cake. Okay? In this one, you don't have, a guy fighting somebody with 4 people waiting their turn to get their ass beat by the main character.
No.
They're all engaged, which is what
Doing
I really
something.
appreciate and enjoy.
And I gotta say, I love that Pilgrim doesn't have a weapon.
Yes.
Like him fighting, like him just being bare fist, stronger. Like he is a bear of a man.
He is a big fella. This was true. Well, you get to see his size comparison.
Yes.
In comparison to a lot of people. Castor cuts his hand, and just becomes Dark Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Does a cool little run up the side of the staircase.
Well, that was Nyx, wasn't it? That was the girl.
No, Nyx is gone. Remember, she left to go find MK.
That's. Yep,
So
you're
this
right.
is so he goes up there and he's kicking ass and taking names, and it ends up leading to where it's him and Louis Tan having a battle, and holds his own. He's able, this is one of the first times you get to see the black eye who actually gets hit by a kick.
Mm-hmm.
There's some different moves. The reason I love this fight scenario so much is that the sword play was so fast.
Yes.
There was a scene where Castor and Louis Tan are exchanging swords back and forth, and trust me, but this was not fast forward. This was them going full speed, and the ding, 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 and just so on. It was really, really impressive. I really appreciate this. I really love who your fight choreograph, the sword play technique, all these things. The scene pulled off exceptionally well. And it just resonated with this episode because it wasn't shortly after you see the Widow and her sword play with knife play was really cool. And I loved how the High Priestess and Lydia had to dispatch one by showing that they're not true fighters.
Well, I had a problem with Lydia's. Because you're telling me she's stopping 2 full swords on a downswing with the dagger.
Now, that one part, yes.
But outside of that, like you said,
Yes.
because like Lydia even...
That was a bridge too far where she's able to stop 2 separate people at the same time. But it was followed up with her getting kicked over a couch brutally to say thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, she is not a fighter like the other ones. And yes, that's what would happen to her if she hasn't already been ran through with a ninja sword.
Oh, yeah, but she's already dead twice over with 2 swords going through her chest.
Yes.
But like you said, like they completely redeem it with everything because even when she does stab and kill the person, she has that shock like, whoa, I could do that? Wait, I just killed somebody? Like her acting, phenomenal.
It was on the point. It really, really was. I really enjoyed that part. And, like I said, Pilgrim, doing what he did. And the fight scene lasting for almost 4 minutes. I mean,
the
that
length
is
of this
epic.
thing, continuous. I was like,
yeah, that is really, really cool and really, really done. Now, another little pet peeve again, and which I completely overlooked because I was just so excited about what I just saw is that when it's all over said and done, Pilgrim accuses the Widow of an assassination plot.
yeah.
And
right before, like Castor is doing like his 8-minute long spitting dagger coming at Widow, and Castor just like catches him.
Well, Pilgrim just catches him and says, stop.
Yeah, Pilgrim catches him.
Does this kind of like, like a little vibration and wakes him up.
Peace be with you.
Yeah. Really.
Also with you. Oh!
Yeah. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. But yes, that is true. It stops him.
Yeah.
Cool little effect. So it shows that he has the ability to stop a Dark Eye.
At least ones he knows, because I'm not fully confident to say he can do it with anyone.
Could be a clue that maybe he was an abbot,
yes,
or has learned from them, or he's a master like the other master, and that just shows there's more than one.
Ooh, I didn't go down that route.
I was thinking about the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I like that because abbots are the only ones we've seen be able to take the power away.
Considering the way they talk, they've had several Dark Eyes come and go.
Yes.
So like I said, life expectancy is low and all that kind of stuff. So anyway. So then he accuses her of being an assassination plot, and she's like, I just saved your life. And she goes, well, that might have been just to diverge and, make me get trust. And for Lydia to go, oh, wait a second.
Chow's the only one who still brands.
Yeah, still brands like that or so on, and just pulls on her face and has a brand on it. Did anybody else think this was a little too easy, inconvenient?
Yeah, but at that point, like you said, during it, I was okay with it. Like, I thought about it.
To me, this seems like we're under a time crunch.
Yeah.
We got to conclude this quickly.
But, I mean, to even think that she was setting this trap and everything, I was just like, well, you did it, so maybe you could have made me, like, owe you or something. I was like, dude, she shaved you by throwing a dagger at a spear or at a crossbow. There's easier ways to convince you that she was trying to save your life.
Exactly. And another thing is that if you're talking to this person and she goes and pulls a dagger out and throws a knife and you don't even flinch.
Yeah.
Some people were on social media like, Pilgrim, why didn't you just catch that knife? Or
catch the bolt.
Realize that, holy crap, you throw that knife at me or different things. So there's a little bit of sketch on that for some people. They say it didn't bother me. I thought it was pretty freaking cool. Because when they're shooting arrows at her and she's just chopping them away,
yep,
it looked like the real deal. You see splintering wood and everything like that. So I appreciated all that. I really, really did.
But I mean, you have because the fight scenes, they were phenomenal, and the length of them, they just kept it rolling, scene after scene, and rolled with different characters. And I was like, man, this is why we are watching this show. And so that does raise it a good bit.
It really does. And then the last thing there is that MK's walking around in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Nix is, looking for him. And suddenly, out of nowhere, he takes a rock to the forehead. And then I was confused at first, like, why would Nix hit him with a rock in the head? And then you kind of get the idea that this is a band of thieves or criminals or whatever, or murderers that have hit him. And are coming at him, but then she saves his ass.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool because I love they showed the view through his eyes to where like he's not 100% conscious. Things are blurry, and you see her dispatching these people right and left. And when he finally does come clear, you see her walking out with blood, and her eyes turn back to normal. Mm-hmm. And it's that really cool moment. And so, like, am I seeing these two become close?
God, I possibility. Hope not. God, I hope we don't.
I mean, we didn't even get the Tilda thing.
No, like this would be like his 8th love interest in the show at this point. So please do not make. He
is a man that is well desired.
Look, that's fine. We just don't need to be on screen every time, I guess.
Yeah, I give you that. So this is going to be interesting to see where this goes as well.
Yes,
if he's going to get pulled into that. So new alliances are forming. We can get together as long as you're not recruiting my people or you'll be dealt with. Threatens Pilgrim. I like that. MK now is going to be in the possession of Nix, which means Pilgrim will get to meet him. And what are they going to do for him? I'm sure they'll heal him and teach him more of the art.
And that's just going to make Widow backtrack on what she said to Pilgrim and be like, well, actually, I'm going to need that one. Right. And Pilgrim's going to be like, well, actually, no.
To me, this is setting up to have quite a big battle between two
powerhouse people,
powerhouse little groups.
Because I'm interested to see Widow fight Pilgrim because he's kind of a Quinn-esque, like he's that brutal kind of fight style that we haven't had since Quinn.
Right.
And Quinn was the only person who could really beat Widow. And it was mostly just through brute strength. So I'm interested to see if he kind of picks up a weapon whenever he has to fight Widow for this.
Right. Now, the one thing we didn't talk about is Louis Tan loses the fight and gets stabbed nasty through the shoulder blade out through his outermost pec.
Yes.
And falls like he's dead.
But definitely not dead.
Definitely not dead. Of course, he looks up and he's
somehow got to get out of this place.
It looks like he's out to escape.
And we are in an island museum, so I will be interested to see
and how his swimming arm is not going to be very effective.
No.
And
going underwater, that doesn't seem like the best idea either. Hey, where'd he go? I don't know. Maybe we could follow this trail of blood to the other side.
He just had a 12-inch blade go right through him. It's going to be interesting. Plus, he didn't achieve his goal. Does that mean he goes back to where he's from?
I think he'll be able to go back, no problem.
He has the information that the Widow has joined with him, which is going to make things that much harder for Chow. So,
and he's going to be able to tell her that he has people in his group who have the gift. Or does Chow even know about the gift?
Unknown at this time.
Yes, that is unknown.
Unknown at the time. So I'm not really sure. And that's kind of the episode. And I'm just
we've opened a lot of doors. That
we have,
and I'm ready to see them.
To me, it's a bunch of big chess pieces, and certain people have different abilities and different things, and it's very curious how some people are aligning and how some are not, and where it's going to go.
Because somebody could be breaking alliances.
Right, and because we're having a setup for this group versus this group, but Sonny's on his own thing over here. MK's going after Sonny. So it's going to be really cool to see how they merge all that. The writing is going to make it where it all becomes a convergence. You know what I mean? We're all meeting at the wall, or whatever you want to call it. So I look forward to that. I really, really do. But like I said, man, guys, when y'all think about this, what do y'all think? It's the episode, everything you thought. Dude, we almost forgot.
What?
We got some potential exciting news coming down the
pipe.
We
do have some.
So there is a chance
in the coming week or
so. We have been in contact with the amazing Sherman Augustus, a.k.a. Daniel Moon, and it is looking very, very close that he will be joining us on the podcast. I can't say how excited I am. I told Cash we got, some communication even today. Things are looking like they line up. Everybody fingers crossed that we're able to get him on here. To me, he's been the highlight of this new season.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to hear what he's got to say about, the show, himself, career, and everything, because we really like to promote our actors. And
so feel free to send us a few questions if you're able to get this, and let us know what you want to know.
Absolutely.
From him.
So, like I said, we should have something confirmed soon. When we do, we'll let you guys know. And we're really looking forward to it. And we always like to include what the fans would like to know. If there's some really cool, unique questions, whatever, don't hesitate to hit us up at BleedTV Podcast. We have a Gmail, BleedTV Podcast at Gmail. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We just got on Instagram. Something new. We're on YouTube, Spotify, you name it, any podcast, whatever. And something that could help us, guys, if you don't mind, is if you got an opportunity, if you see one of our posts, hit a like on it or share
it.
But also, if you have an opportunity to go on iTunes and put a positive review on for our podcast, it really helps us go up the search engine. It gives us more listeners to be able to promote things and get more actors and different things on the show. So anything you can do to help us is always greatly appreciated. But as for episode 4, the blind cannibal assassins, we're going to call it a wrap. This is BleedTV, and I'm Zach.
And I'm Cash.
And we'll see you guys next week.